Hello. Um, this is Merit. Hello, this is Merit Trapp coming to you from Berlin. Very excited for this Belgian game in Belgium. Gentle Open against JetSet, who have not met yet this season, but both of them attended Tom's tourney last weekend and met at the quarterfinal at the EUCF, where Gentle had a slight advantage and progressed into the semis. Contrary at Tom's tourney, JetSet Open was coming to you from Berlin. Whereas JetSet Open ended up slightly higher at Tom's tourney. So this game should be very interesting to watch. It looks like JetSet, is that Gentle in black and JetSet in white? Okay, JetSet in black receiving the pole, no, sending the pole. Starting with a Poti matched defense from JetSet. Small give and go from Gentle. Lovely release and rundown of the disc. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to see. That looks like a goal for Gentle. And bringing us to 1-0. Okay, so that was saying the second pole, second game point of the game. JetSet receiving now. Gentle also was in a slightly poachy person matchup, but has tightened up their defense. We see lovely give and go passes from the JetSet handler set. An impressive hand block. This is the first break opportunity of the game. What a great start for Gentle. Great read, great drop. Forty can't see the numbers. Unlucky. But JetSet got it back, so they have still the opportunity to make this hold. And again, a miscue between JetSet, so Gentle has another chance to score. Unfortunately, even though the spacing looked great, an unlucky not catch in the end zone. So the third opportunity for JetSet to score this first point. Great separation, but the disc coming in a little bit too slow, so the defenders can catch up and get high and get the disc first. What a lovely J-cut. And a great block, run through D from the number 29. Which is Brecht Heimanns. So, Convilat with a lovely leading pass into the space. And I believe that was an overhead for the score into the end zone. JetSet managing to hold on to this first offensive point, keeping the score even. What we can see here is that Gentle already put on a lot of pressure, defensive pressure in that first point, managing to regain the disc, managing to produce 2 turns, but also good effort from the JetSet O-line to regain every single turn. That is a good thing to see at the beginning of the season. Looked like an incredible pull, slightly sails out of the back, which I also believe is where the wind is going through. So we will probably see an adjustment on that pole for the future poles. Gentle carrying the disc to the brick point, and it will be checked in there. Restart the game there without a check-in, to be correct. We have a split stack initiated from the 2 cutters, on the open side. But then a pass to the reset from the third person stack. Great coverage from JetSet, but Gentle still manages to cut open. Great pass to the middle. Ready to immediately release the disc again. That seems to be the go-to move for this give and go. And they managed to carry it into the end zone. What a lovely pass. Great connection between those Gentle players. They really used the space given to them without being receiving too much pressure from their Belgian counterparts. The score was again Arthur van de Wege, who now received the disc from David Novak. The first point, he was assisted by his brother. I believe this pole also sailed out of bounds, which would explain why the disc is carried to the brick mark. Unfortunately, I cannot see from this perspective who's carrying the disc and where they're going. JetSet starting with the classical 2-5 word stack. Good coverage, switch coverage from Gentle. But now JetSet is using the space and the open passes that are given to them. And huge gainer to the break side, and again, lovely swing pass. Back into the middle. Maximiliano now receiving every second point, every second throw. And another overhead into the end zone. That seems to be the go-to move for JetSet. Brecht Heimans is now receiving scored that point. I believe he also had that run through D in the first point, in the first O-line point for JetSet. That seems to be a player to look out for. Heimans is also one of several players on the Belgian Open team that you can see on this pitch. In total, I believe about 13, split between Gentle and JetSet. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to see the numbers on the white shirts for Gentle. I'll do my best. What an incredible hug. Now Gentle is running it down almost into the end zone. And carry it back in after a lovely dish back to teammate. So Sebastian Moons, after catching that incredible hug, also scoring the goal. This is at least the second clean hold for Gentle, so JetSet need to consider how they can adjust their defense accordingly. Great pole, but immediately covered. There's something of a zone look from Gentle. The zone is trying to create as many passes as possible without necessarily threatening the easy reset towards another handler. But this type of zone can just make your opponent take risky passes. But so far, JetSet is just remaining calm and taking the open passes. And here we see the switch to match defense. Great adjustment from the offense, melting back into a different type of stack, creating different spaces. There seems to be a discussion between Max Viana on the disc. Foul call, an accepted foul call, meaning that the stall is coming back in on 1, meaning saying 1 in general. Again, a great overhead to create space on the break side, and then resetting with the handlers and immediately cutting up line, even though that didn't create space. And again, an overhead for the score for JetSet. So Arthur Moyerson to Arnold van der Roost. Arnold van der Roost also on the Belgium Open team, going but the offense from JetSet looked a lot cleaner now. They seem to have come into the game, which also results in a lot shorter points. Gentle now has to bring in the disc at the front of the end zone from the sideline because the disc was touched. An immediate, impressive recovery from a very low disc and resetting to the handler from Gentle. Another great catch from the number 42, Sebastian Munz. Great leading pass into the open space in the end zone. Unfortunately, the cutter can't catch up to the disc. This gives JetSet another opportunity. A great hug. It looks like the disc is still in the air and received in the end zone. That is a break for JetSet. And the first break of the game. Great hug from Emil de Rijk to Martin Robbins. JetSet clearly managed after a difficult first 0 point to come back into the game and putting the pressure onto Gentle. So like I said, this promises to be a very interesting game. This might be the first pull against the wind, so it's understandable that it went out of bounds. Great cutting from Gentle to get free. There seems to be one person completely poached. I'm for majority of this point, but now the coverage is tight again. JetSet switching the defense up. Unfortunately, that creates still a space to hit an open person. What an impressive inside backhand into the middle to break the mark. Into coverage, but Gentle comes down with it. So we have a clean hold again. From the throw was from Sami Bulama and caught by Wolf Oosterling, but we could see there was at least 4 other players under that disc and also another teammate. So the chances were quite good that the disc would get to where they were supposed to go. Score is 4-4. We're even, but that means because Gentle started on 0, that there's still the advantage is with JetSet. Great break pass and a hug into the open space. Wonderful clean hold from JetSet. Again, Arnoud van der Roost, who already caught a goal and assisted one. Now the scorer is Max Viana, who already has 1 assist on the game, and seems to be usually in the handler space. But that means you can't just cover him deep and give him the option to cut, because then he's also open and free. With the new ranking system that the EUCF has started for this season, every game and every point counts, especially this weekend, because there's no opportunity to opt out. This is an official EUCF tournament, so every point and every game has to count, included in your ranking. That can be different for EUCF approved events like Tom's Tourney last weekend, not too far away from here. Gentle currently working with in the handler space a lot. First pass to cut it in the break side. Great undercut. From Gentle and passing it free to the break side in the middle of the field. And we have a pick call stopping the game. The defensive player is catching up. And the offensive player is moving back to where they were when the pick call was. Discus coming in on 2, I believe. The max store count would be 6. Great breakthrough. A huge gainer on the open side. Immediately pass it on. And that's a clean hold for Gentle. Vincent van der Voorde to Sebastian Moons, who already is on our scoreboard at least once. There are several other games that are broadcast this weekend. And currently you're watching the Open Division. There were very interesting and tight games happening in the Women's Division that started us off this weekend. Nevertheless, JetSet easily feeling the pole. And another great pass. Tis Kasten. Unlucky. Spacing was great. There's a stoppage on the pitch. They're checking the disc if it's still playable. That's usually not the only reason the game stops, but I can't see any other hand signals. Disc is coming back in. And Gentle almost on the doorstep. Great. Great leading pass to the open side. But then some discussion in the end zone. I believe the discussion is about whether this was a foul that led to the drop. The discussion isn't over yet, though. So it's a contested foul call on the catch. So the disc is coming back in with the original thrower. The reset unfortunately doesn't connect. So JetSet has another opportunity. Marks me back on the disc. Great recovery of that disc. Needing to lay out to get it. Arthur van der Rust on the disc and Huck almost to the end zone. Runs down the disc. In the reset space. Great insight. And a foul call, and an accepted foul call from what I can see. So the play should restart soon. And a layout to get the disc in the end zone is Arthur van der Rust again. So JetSet staying one ahead. Score is 6-5 or 5-6. Arnold van der Rust. Gentle receiving a pole and immediately going into small pass game, almost to the middle line already. A reset into the dump space, losing some yards. Good coverage from JetSet, regaining the position on that. But Gentle, keeping to the small passes, moving upfield, almost into the end zone. We're now on the doorstep for another Gentle goal. That was a great job from the entire team creating that space. And we have David Novak again as the assist to Pierre de Force, who makes it onto the scoreboard for this game. This quick give and go seems to be working for Gentle quite well. So we'll see if JetSet finds a way to shut it down, or if Gentle can keep having clean holds this way. That looks like I shouldn't have said anything. It's commentator's curse. I was about to say this looks like a great pull. Unfortunately, it sails out of bounds. But again, it seems to be that the wind is coming to you from the right to the left. So this pole is against the wind and sailed out of bounds at the same place that the last pole in this direction went out. You have much defense and another no call on this one. Another overhead into the end zone unfortunately can't be collected safely by JetSet. So Gentle has now a chance to get a break back. Gentle in a classical bird stack, covered in a clam from JetSet that now melted into tight match defense. This can't be caught safely here on the sideline, so the disc is back with JetSet trying to hold on to their slight advantage, getting that break earlier in the game. But Heyman's picking up the disc to Arthur Morrison, back to Arnold van der Roest. Convert. And a score from JetSet. Max Viana again to Brecht Heymans. That was already the score for the 2-2. Since then, the offense from this looks like a timeout. Since then, JetSet has cleaned up their offensive miscommunication to a larger degree. So having a repeat of that score is not a surprise. As this is a timeout, I will also quickly take a break. Gentle ready to receive the pole. And we have another mistake and a great hug from Gentle. It looks unfortunately like didn't connect. So JetSet has the disc back. And another break opportunity. We so far accomplished one out of those. Both teams now favoring a horizontal stack to create space, and a misread by the defense who jumps early but can confuse the offense player, so neither get the disc. Or maybe it's a block and I didn't see that correctly. Gentle having a lot of space to break the mark with a rather frontal mark than a tight mark set up. This is a score again for Gentle, keeping the game. No, this is keeping the game tight. We're now at Galaxy Point. Gentle looking to get this break back now, so they keep the advantage that they had at the beginning, starting on offense. We have another timeout. The first timeout was taken by JetSet, who also have the slightly smaller roster here. Maybe they're using those timeouts to preserve the energy of the people on the pitch, especially those who do a lot of the running and a lot of the scoring. This score was again the assist by Sami Boumalal and to Arthur van der Wege, who already scored the first and second point for Gentle. One of the three people coaching Gentle this season is Arthur, together with his brother Aaron, and third person, Benjamin Veriken. So not only taking on the responsibility of playing, but taking on the responsibility of coaching and captaining as well. This timeout is over, so we should see a pull anytime now, at least once the players have cleared the pitch. I'm zero information. The pole sails out of bounds in the back. Seems to be very difficult to get the pole into where you would like to have it in landing in the end zone. JetSet again setting up in a horizontal stack. Great initiation by Sebastian Mons. No, Arnold van der Roost. A mistake. Back to Max Viana. Great defensive bid by Gentle. Couldn't intercept the disc, so still very high disc received on the second try by Arnold van der Roost. Impressive athleticism. And van der Roost back with the disc. and a lovely inside backhand into break side for JetSet, which means they take so-called galaxy point. We now have half, which means Gentle needs to start on defense again, and JetSet has the opportunity to start on offense again after half. Because of this added offensive point, it is very beneficial for JetSet to have scored this one break in the first half, and the only break in the first half. Unless you're unfamiliar with how the Elite Invite system works, there are pool plays, but as there are only 8 teams competing in every division, every team goes on into the brackets. This determines the ranking for the brackets, but not necessarily if you end up losing all games in your pool, that doesn't stop you from entering the quarter and semifinals and finals. The other game in this pool A, in the open pool A, is also very close, currently at 8-8 between Clapham and Wall City. The games in the open pool B are less close. Both have reached half, with Lafotte currently leading 8-2 over Alba and Mooncatchers 8-5 over Chevron. But that doesn't say that the rest of the games aren't going to be closer or interesting. There's all of these games, more or less all of games at Elite Invite will be streamed and available for you to watch through the Salt Sports EUCF cooperation that you're probably currently using to watch this stream. So after watching your favorite games this weekend, you can watch all the other games and restream them once you have the time. This ball also sails out of bounds, so JetSet will carry it to the break point. That already gives you another 18 points, 18 meters closer to the goal and further from your own end zone, if you're unfamiliar with the sport. So the goal would be to get the pole within the playing field, either the central zone or the end zone, and to land there without anyone touching it. We see somewhat of a zone setup from Gentle in the handler space, but more or less close coverage in the upfield area, downfield area. JetSet managing to get through this fence-like or arrowhead shape. Now Gentle switching back to match defense. That was another clean hold for JetSet. Yellow ecalots to Arthur Morrison, who already has his first score, but he already has 2 assists. with the score being 7-9 in favor of JetSet, Gentle really needs to hold on to this point and then put a defensive pressure that they managed to do in the first defensive point. A long pass, unfortunately, a little bit too short, so the JetSet defender could get to the disc first. You can see, and Gentle recovering that long pass in the other direction, so they get another chance to secure their hold on this point. You can see that JetSet is setting up in a clam around the stack, covering a lot of spaces that might have molded more into the zone setup than earlier. This time, the setup created more space, was less successful, and a great cut into the space, having two people under it. That might have been not the intended receiver, but a Gentle receiver nonetheless. So Vincent van der Voorde is probably happy either way who have caught it, and in this case is David Novak getting back on the scoreboard. First time as a receiver on the goal. The clam setup in the first setup looked more of a clam to me. It was more successful in preventing open cuts for Gentle than the second go around. Gentle might look into doubling their cuts more, so the defenders, downfield defenders, have to decide more clearly who they want to cover. Again, we have a horizontal stack setup, but this time a close, tight match defense from Gentle. Great flow from JetSet. He's setting the disc into the middle of the field. Otherwise, happy to play with the open side if it's given. Another great break with Brittman Heymans. Arnold van der Roost back in the handle space. You now have 4 people, which is unlikely, and that's why one of them immediately cut deep. Great undercut from Arthur Meyerson. That looks like a miscommunication between Ellis Ravier and who the intended receiver for that disc was, who already stopped the cut into the end zone, giving Gentle another opportunity to score. We have a very deep cut coming under again, and some switching on the defensive setup from JetSet between individual person matchup. That was a great toe tap into and awareness to catch that inbounds. And a great inside break, and again, great awareness to get the throw back in on the inside of the pitch before landing out of bounds. Unfortunately, I can't see numbers clearly, but Jalle van der Moere managed to catch that disc in from Benjamin Sowitz. I hope I pronounced your names correctly. If not, I deeply apologize. Okay. I thought this might look like a timeout, but JetSet is setting up again. This is the first break for Gentle. If they manage to get another one, we're back on the original stuff. Currently, JetSet still has the advantage. Great small pass game by JetSet as well. They're setting up in a somewhat 1-6 at the trap sideline. Melting back into a 2-5 now that the disc is closer to the middle. A lovely high release pass into the space. And gaining huge yards on that great forehand tuck. Almost to the goal line now, trapped on the sideline, but a great losing some yards, still on the sideline, and a lovely overhead to gain space, and then a high release forehand for the score. From Cohen Villard to Elias Revier. Cohen Villard is here playing as an offensive handler, but has been coaching youth, women, and beginners for a long time, and is currently has experience playing with the Belgian Open Masters team, being one of the older members of this JetSet rosters, who also include several players who are 20 years or younger.
Let's go, boys!
This pole lands in, roughly at the gun. Seems to have the clamp set up at the beginning, covering a lot of the open passes. High open cuts, making it difficult to find an open receiver. Gentle, using the opportunity when they are unmarked to make those cuts and create the space for each other. A miscue on the catch leads to a drop, giving JetSet another break opportunity here. If they can recover that game, and a lovely layout to keep that disc in the air. Great inside forehand to gain space again on the pitch, and unfortunately can't keep hold of that disc, probably conscious of the sideline directly in front, and a lovely throw into space with no coverage for Gentle, keeping the score even. Arthur van der Wege to appear in the force. That keeps Arthur van der Wege securely at the scoreboard top for Gentle, with his first assist now and 3 previous goals. We're seeing another horizontal stack setup that has worked quite well for JetSet in the past. Can expect Arthur to make the first, Arthur van der Roost to make the first cut, Arnoud van der Roost to make the first cut. Max Viana back on the desk. Pass in, and I can't say. Unfortunately, that disc does not recover, but huge thrust into his cutters to receive a disc before they start the cut clearly into the end zone, covered by 2 Gentle defenders. And from my perspective, it looks like JetSet player did touch the disc, but unfortunately couldn't hold onto it while being in the end zone. That gives us Gentle another chance to score. We're also setting up in a somewhat horizontal stack up, moving the disc by using the cutters in front of the cutter, the thrower. Currently trapped on the score sideline, but unfortunately there's a pick call, so disc goes back. The disc is coming back on a maximum stall count of 6. Okay. There seems to be a discussion whether this is a repeat of the pick, but the JetSet player defender happy to just catch up to mark properly. Gentle happy to play on the sideline, and then unfortunately a miscommunication between the handlers leads to this turn, with now JetSet back with the disc. An interception from Gentle puts him back onto the scoreboard. Lovely quick thinking and changing of direction between offense and defense before JetSet can catch up, putting on a proper pressure mark. That is the break that they needed to be back on top from some the soup to Benjamin Swartz. And this looks like there might be another timeout called on the pitch. While they take a quick break, let's see what is happening in the other pools. Open. The game in this pool, Pool A, is still close with a very similar score, 10-11, between Clapham and Wall City. The score between BFC La Fota and Alba remains quite far with a strong lead for La Fota, but Chevron has managed to close the distance, so it's now also 10-11 in the game Chevron against Mooncatchers, with Mooncatchers being on top. So like we promised, a lot of very interesting and exciting games happening at the same time, so feel free to watch them, rewatch them after this.
Hey, let's go, boys! Come on! What do it? Let's go, boys! JetSet! The boys, push!
JetSet managing to get to the midfield point with quite ease through small pulses and good team flow. Not relying on one single pass until we get every second disc. What a great cut by number 23, giving the disc back to Max Viana, who already assisted on 3 goals. But also happy to pass it and swing it to another handler. That's another scorer for JetSet. Happy to play small ball. And another scorer for Arnold van der Roost, who's leading the scoreboard for JetSet. The assist is again from Max Viana, who is the second on that line. They total same amount, it's just that van der Roost has scored more goals than Viana. Like I said, JetSet seems to be happy to play small ball, knowing that they can also go deep and huck it deep successfully. That gives them the opportunity to make it a lot more difficult for their defensive matchups to anticipate where certain players will be going or what their next idea is going to be. Gentle fielding the disc and getting it back into the middle. JetSet managing to cover a first pass, gaining a lot of yardage, so also Gentle now has to play small ball to keep the disc moving. Now break pass to and mostly uncovered gives them some momentum. Uncovered player gives them some momentum, but now we're back to midfield and small ball. But Gentle's happy to take what they get, and this is, in this case, a wide open receiver in the end zone. it is Sebastian Mons again, scoring, preparing a great cut, even though there's coverage from two different defenders. Samir Bumala trusts in his teammate, puts up a lovely flick hack into the end zone, using this separation from his cutter, but also playing into the space in front of him, giving him the opportunity to run towards the disc and ignoring the two defenders in the back. JetSet starting out of a horizontal stack, but moving back into a vert stack in the middle of the pitch after those first initiation cuts. Great cut by Elias Garve, I believe. Or maybe Brecht Heimans again, who now started deep and now has to run to try to catch that inbounds. That might have looked like that would be an attempt for greatest, realizing that he couldn't get the disc off before touching the ground out of bounds. But still great speed, closing speed to get to that disc anyway. That is exactly what you want your receivers to do. Giving their best, even if the disc is slightly out of bounds and may be impossible to catch. Giving it their all. This is exactly what both teams are doing currently, which is why we are back to an extremely tight game. But currently with another break opportunity for Gentle. That was a great cut and great spacing, but unlucky on the catch. So JetSet has another opportunity in the third to the end zone that they're working towards. And they're using that opportunity with an upline cut from the person set up in the handler space to score with a single pass. This was picked up by Brecht Heimans, passing it to T.S. Kasten Cassage with a great upline cut into the end zone. In general, that is something we haven't seen as much in this game, but something that's favored by a lot of different teams in different divisions, to play with a smaller set of people in front of the end zone, creating space from cutting into and cutting out of the handler set, rather than engaging the rest of the stack. And the rest is just trying to create space and keep that space on the open side cut open. Gentle with the disc. Also cutting out of a horizontal stack, but keeping that more clearly. Great grab by the person, the Gentle team. And another great grab by the same player, showing the athleticism necessary to compete at this high level of ultimate. Great J cut. Using the mispositioned defender to create that space. And there's a foul call and an accepted foul call, so the disc is coming back in, the star count is coming back in on 1, because that's the number, the star count he's going to utter first. I don't know if that's intended receiver, but good heads up work from that cutter to get to that space, and a great layout to grab that disc and keep it safe. Another score for Gentle. A lovely put by Aron van der Wege gives Wolf Oosterling the chance to shine and score. That is Oosterling's second score in this game. And another great pull by Gentle, giving them the opportunity to catch up to the disc before any major yardage is gained. And a great inside forehand into the end zone, giving JetSet another clean hold. Cohnvillage showing as a veteran that he is for this team, his throwing powers makes it easy for his cutters to receive the disc in a space where they're undefended. The goal was scored by Brecht Heimans. Gentle using the small ball to get it moving. Great fake. Moves the mark. Doesn't win the first reset, fakes him away, but takes him up on the second offer when he's positioned better to receive the disc. And a switch by the JetSet defense makes it easier to keep the mark moving because you're closer to the person already having the disc. Great upline cut by Gentle. And a leading pass into the end zone for another score. Again, the brothers connecting Arun to Arthur van de Wege. That is exactly what our first score was in this game. I believe we had JetSet call timeout, which I interpret as Gentle telling JetSet that they took a timeout. In the official rules, I believe you have 2 timeouts per half per team per game. It might be adjusted depending on how long the games are. I believe we're playing here at 90 minutes for official game time. But 80 minutes official game time. But as is usual for Ultimate games, you still need to score to take the win. So even if the 80 minutes have passed, you still have to score. So the time doesn't stop compared to normal or to other sports games, for example, football or soccer. So we are closing in onto these 80 minutes, but we're also close to what the hard cap is of 15 points. Gentle just needs 1 more point to get there. For the ranking, that is important to actually qualify for the European Club Finals, which will also take place in Belgium later this year. You have to score a high enough ranking to be among the top 12, top 10 to 16 teams, depending on the wildcard bids that are afforded in this division. At Elite Invite, these teams are playing for one of those wildcard bids, which make it important. Not important what their ranking is, just important that they have 10 scored games. So this tournament counts a lot. JetSet almost to the middle line already with a reset. A great bid by Gentle, but there's some discussion of whether that was a clean interception or if it constitutes a foul or maybe a strip call. We will see what the other JetSet player has to say who threw the disc. That looks like an accepted foul call based on the hand signals, so JetSet keeps the disc. Why aren't they? That reset score was too high, so Gentle recovers the disc and has now the first opportunity to score the match point. They're almost to the scoreline. And an interception by JetSet keeps this game alive, and JetSet's hopes of winning this game. Great awareness of that JetSet defender closing into the space once the disc was in the air. JetSet setting up again in a horizontal stack. We've seen them do that a lot on the original initiation after a pull or after a static disc. We'll see if they move back into a vert stack once it takes some time. Some miscommunication. We have a pick call forces the JetSet thrower to take a large breakside throw rather than being able to hit one of those people cutting into the open space right in front of him. but the disc stays on this end and is going back to the thrower who threw that incredible break pass. JetSet Smalling, like small ball. A great bit, but and another great bit by Gentle, third in a row, second in a row, third in this game, in this point leads to the turnover. Corton with a great read from that defender, and it was already from that defender. That is the match point. Gentle winning 15-13. This will be their first score in the ranking system. Again, they have to count it. We will. But a great showing from JetSet, promising that this was exactly as close a game as I hoped in the beginning. I hope for another good match coming up. We will leave these teams now to do their spirits, who will happen at the same time, and then we'll see you again here on this pitch for a mixed game between Deep Space and Tartu Turbulence from Estonia, and several other mixed games happening at the various other fields. Good luck and see you soon.